We now have for you René Descartes himself presenting his meditations on first philosophy, specifically meditations 1, 2, 5, and 6. Somehow, miraculously, Descartes made a video of his meditations in 1644. We have obtained that video finally. So for the first time, Descartes presenting his own meditations on the screen. Enjoy. I believe many things, and I have believed many things in my life, but did I ever really know anything? Do I know anything right now? The distinction between belief and knowledge, what I want to do in these meditations is try to establish what it would take to know something, to have knowledge, versus mere belief or opinion. I've doubted many of my beliefs and opinions in the past. And I want to establish some kind of firm foundation, firm basis for knowledge and the sciences, for myself and for humanity in general. Let's embark on that quest to establish an anchor for knowledge, an anchor for the sciences. What I need to do then is to discover, identify something that is certain, not just probable, likely, but certain. And then on that basis of certainty, we can establish knowledge and the sciences. What kind of test, what's the most rigorous test for certainty, for a belief to qualify as certain? And the most rigorous test I can imagine is the following. If I can find a belief which I cannot doubt, not doubtable, no matter how hard I try, that belief would qualify, would count as certainty. It would count as certainly true. This, I think, is the most rigorous test for a belief that's certain and whose truth is certain, what cannot be doubted. Therefore, what I will do in these meditations is I will take an inventory of all my former and current beliefs and try to discover, identify a belief or beliefs which cannot be doubted. I will cast aside all that admits of the slightest doubt, and I will continue on this track until I find what cannot be doubted. And I must proceed cautiously here. I will address myself freely to the general overthrow, upheaval of all my former and current opinions. And in the process, try to discover, identify a belief or beliefs which I cannot doubt. I will then practice skepticism. The kind of skepticism I will practice here is what you might call, 400 years from now, radical skepticism, or what has been, you now know as Cartesian skepticism. Ordinary skepticism, kind of run-of-the-mill skepticism or doubt, is slightly different. What's that? Suppose that you don't have good enough reason to believe something. In your own mind, you do not have good enough reason. I'm now going to jump 400 years later. Did George Mallory summit Mount Everest in 1924, before he died? You may not have good enough evidence to believe that he did summit Everest for that belief. So you might be skeptical that Mallory did summit Everest. You might doubt it. Or perhaps you're a skeptic about human-caused global warming, again, 400 years from now in the future, because you don't, in your own mind, have good enough reason to believe that climate change is human-caused. You might be waiting for more scientific evidence. You'd be a skeptic about that. That's ordinary, moderate skepticism. What I will practice in the next few meditations is radical skepticism. This is different. from ordinary skepticism. The difference is this. In radical skepticism, I will not believe that belief for which I can find any reason whatsoever to doubt. If I can find even the remotest possibility that that belief is false, then I will not believe it. I will doubt it. This is radical skepticism, radical doubt. This, I believe, is what we need to practice in order to find certainty, to find the belief that we cannot doubt. So let's begin that exercise. I will imagine, create a number of skeptical hypotheses wherein I will imagine the possibility that an ordinary belief I have, that I would ordinarily believe, could be false. A scenario where that common sense, ordinary belief could be false, even in the remotest possibility. These will be what I call my skeptical hypotheses. And what I will do is begin first with a group of beliefs, types of beliefs. And these are the beliefs I derive from my sense experience in the world, from my hearing, seeing, touching, smelling, tasting. Currently, I hear a dog barking outside. I taste this delicious coffee. I smell this coffee. I see the light over here. I see the room in which I am sitting. These are the beliefs I derive from these sense experiences are the following. There is a dog barking outside. There is coffee in this coffee cup. There is a room in which I sit. There is a light over here illuminating me. That's what my senses tell me. Right? My senses tell me there's an external world outside of me that exists independently of me, external to me. Whether I sense it or not, it's there. Those are the beliefs that my senses, my sense experience give me. And these are beliefs I ordinarily never doubt. And I never have any reason to doubt them. It seems so obvious, doesn't it? That the external world exists as I experience it with my senses. How can we doubt this? Here's a skeptical hypothesis. Suppose I'm hallucinating. I seem to hear a dog barking outside, but I'm hallucinating. There really is no dog outside. I seem to see a light right here, but there is no light. I'm hallucinating. I seem to taste the coffee in the coffee mug, but there is no coffee in the coffee mug. How would this be possible? Well, suppose someone earlier this morning, dropped some LSD in my coffee cup, and I'm now imagining all these sense experiences. I'm hallucinating. Or suppose suddenly I became insane, that the black bile has seeped inside my brain and made me mad, made me crazy. And I'm just hallucinating. There is no room here at all. I just think there is. My senses tell me that's true, but my senses are mistaken. Also, I could be dreaming. And if I'm dreaming, then all of this is in my head. This room in which I seem to be sitting, the dog outside, it's all part of my dream. My senses are deceiving me because I'm dreaming. I'm not really awake. That's a possibility. Now you protest, Rene Descartes, that's not a possibility. Of course you're awake. Can I be sure that I'm awake? Can I be certain that I'm currently awake and not dreaming? How do I know I'm in the waking state versus the dreaming state? I can't know for certain. Why not? Because any evidence I produce right now for being awake versus dreaming, that evidence could itself be part of my dream. I pinch my cheek. Ooh, that hurts. I say, oh gee, because it hurts, that pain must be real, therefore I must be awake. The pain itself could be part of my dream. So really there is no absolutely certain way right now for me to distinguish my dream state from waking state. I could in fact be dreaming. It's a possibility, not a probability, but a possibility. If it were true, my senses would be deceiving me. One more skeptical hypothesis, and I'll fast forward now 400 years to your era. Filmmakers in your era created a film called The Matrix. And you live in the digital computer age, I don't. But that digital computer age has allowed you to imagine the following skeptical scenario. Everything here that I'm experiencing is really a computer simulation. And somebody is programming my brain to have all these sense experiences. Programming my brain to hear a dog outside, and there really is no dog outside. Programming my brain to taste this coffee, but there really is no coffee here at all, although I'm having the experience of tasting the coffee. This is the Matrix scenario, which if I had known about that in my time, I would have included that in my skeptical hypotheses to doubt the trustworthiness of my senses. Yes, therefore, what my senses deliver to me, the beliefs I derive from my senses, are doubtable, according to those skeptical scenarios. But what about other types of beliefs, like beliefs in mathematics or geometry or logic, what we call beliefs deriving from our rationality, not from our sense experiences, but from our rationality? How can I possibly doubt those beliefs? How could those be false? They seem so obviously true. 2 + 3 = 5. Seems obviously true. How could that be false? Well, imagine that there is a all-powerful, evil trickster who is deceiving me, even in my beliefs about mathematics, geometry, and logic. In fact, deceiving all of us. We are systematically deceived about the truths of mathematics, geometry, logic. In this scenario, 2 + 3 = 5 is false, even though it appears to be true to all of us. It would be a shadow on the wall of Plato's cave, right? It's all we've known, but it's really false. Now again, the existence of a super powerful evil trickster is not probable, not in the least. But it's a remote possibility, and because it's a remote possibility, it's remotely possible that my beliefs about mathematics are all false. The meditation from yesterday has filled my mind with so many doubts that I feel I've fallen into very, very deep water. And I'm unable either to plant my feet firmly on the bottom or to sustain myself by swimming on the surface. I am dizzy with doubt. Everything I used to believe and currently believe could be false according to our skeptical scenarios. So can I really know anything if I have not yet found something that's not doubtable? Well, I suspect that there was something under my nose the entire meditation yesterday and now, and has always been there. Perhaps even too obvious for me to notice. But I think this might be our hope, our anchor of certainty. Note that when I was doubting my sense beliefs, I was doubting the truth of my hearing that a dog was outside or seeing the light. Remember, what I doubted then was, what I could doubt, was that there really was a dog outside barking that I heard. I doubted that my hearing delivered truth. But is there something in there I couldn't doubt that is certain? I think so.